Two people walk into a dealership. Same salary, same car, same day. One of them will quietly lose $20,000, and they won't even realize it. Jake leases a car. Marcus buys the same car. They both think they made the smarter choice. They're both wrong, because neither of them ran the actual numbers. And when you do, the gap is way bigger than either of them expected. Let's keep this fair. Jake and Marcus both earn $55,000 a year. They both want the same car, a $30,000 sedan. Same model, same trim, same color. They both walk into the same dealership on the same day. The only difference is what they sign. Jake signs a 36-month lease. $2,000 due at signing. $299 a month. The salesman tells him he's getting a great deal. Low monthly, brand new car, full warranty coverage, and in 3 years, he could just hand the keys back and walk away. Simple, clean, no strings attached. At least, that's how it sounds. Marcus takes out a 60-month auto loan at 6% interest. His down payment is $3,000, and his monthly is $522. That's $223 more than Jake every single month. The salesman doesn't need to say anything. Marcus can feel that difference already. On day one, Jake's pockets are heavier. His payment is lighter, and he's driving off the lot feeling like he outsmarted the system. But there's something Jake doesn't realize yet. The structure of his deal is fundamentally different from Marcus's, in a way that goes far beyond monthly payments. Every dollar Marcus spends is buying him a piece of something. Every dollar Jake spends is renting a piece of something. And that distinction, over time, is worth tens of thousands of dollars. For 3 years, Jake is living the dream. Brand new car. That new car smell. Full manufacturer warranty. Something goes wrong mechanically? Covered. Needs new brake pads? Covered. Air conditioning dies in July? Covered. Jake's only costs are his lease payment, insurance, and gas. That's it. No surprises. No anxiety. No large repair bills. Marcus? Different story. He's paying $522 every month and watching his car lose value in real time. The moment he drove off the lot, his $30,000 car was worth around $27,000. By the end of year one, about $23,000. By year two, maybe $20,000. Meanwhile, his loan balance is still sitting at around $22,000. That means for the first 2 years, Marcus owes more than his car is worth. That's called being underwater. And psychologically, it feels terrible. Every payment feels like it's going into a hole. Jake sees this. Everyone around Marcus sees this. And the verdict seems obvious. Jake made the smart call. Let's run the actual numbers through year 3. Jake has paid $2,000 down, 36 months at $299. That's $12,764 total. Marcus has paid $3,000 down, 36 months at $522. That's $21,792 total. Jake has spent $9,028 less than Marcus. On paper, Jake is winning by nearly $10,000. That's not a small gap, but year 3 is where the story takes a turn. Jake's lease is up. He drives back to the dealership, and now he has 3 options. Option 1, buy the car at its residual value, usually around $16,000 to $18,000. Option 2, walk away, hand back the keys, owe nothing. Option 3, lease a brand new car and start the whole cycle again. Jake does what most leasers do. He leases again. New car, new contract, another $2,000 at signing, another $299 a month, another 36 months. He's back to month 1. The odometer reads 0, but the payment counter? That doesn't reset. Now look at Marcus. He's 36 months into a 60-month loan. He still has 24 payments left. That's frustrating. But here's the difference. Marcus has an end date. It's circled on the calendar. Every single payment he makes brings him one step closer to owning this car outright. Every payment Jake makes brings him one step closer to giving the car back and starting over. This is the fundamental difference between leasing and buying. that the monthly payment conversation completely hides. One is a conveyor belt. The other has a finish line. Month 60. Marcus makes his final payment. That's it. Done. The car is his. Title in hand. No more monthly payments. From this point forward, Marcus's only car-related costs are insurance, gas, and maintenance. For the average sedan, that maintenance runs about $100 to $150 a month. Oil changes, tires, brakes, the occasional repair. Jake, still swiping his card for $299 every month. He doesn't think about it much, because it's just become part of his life. And that's the danger of leasing. It normalizes a permanent car payment. It becomes background noise. But background noise still costs money. Let's check the scoreboard at the end of year 6. Jake has now completed 2 full leases. His total spend, $2,000 down plus $10,764 payments. $2,000 down plus $10,764 payments. That's $25,528. He owns nothing. No asset, no title, just receipts. Marcus has spent $3,000 down, $31,320 in loan payments. That's $34,320 total. But now, he has 0 monthly payments and owns a car worth around $11,000 to $13,000. If we subtract that value, his effective cost is around $21,000 to $23,000. Jake, $25,528 spent. 0 assets. Marcus, lower effective cost, and a car he owns. The flip happened quietly, but happened. And from here, every month makes Marcus stronger and Jake weaker. Now here's what dealerships don't tell you. Mileage caps. Most leases allow 10,000 to 12,000 miles per year. Sounds reasonable until you realize the average driver exceeds that. Go over? You pay 15 to 25 cents per mile. 5,000 extra miles? That's $750 to $1,250. Wear and tear. That small dent. That scratch. That stain. All billable. Disposition fee. $300 to $500 just to return the car. You literally pay them to take it back. And if life changes mid-lease, you're locked in. No easy exit. Now let's be fair. Buying isn't perfect either. Once warranty ends, everything is on you. Brakes, tires, AC failure. Some years are cheap. Other years, $2,000 repair bills. Depreciation is real too. Your $30,000 car becomes $12,000. That value disappears. But here's the key. Depreciation slows down. Time helps buyers. Now let's zoom out. Over 10 years, Jake leases 3 to 4 cars. Spends around $45,000 to $52,000 and owns nothing. Marcus spends around $44,000 to $48,000 and still owns a car. Difference? $15,000 to $25,000. Repeat this 5 times in life. That's a 6-figure gap. Now, to be honest, leasing can make sense if you run a business. Tax deductions. If you drive luxury cars. Warranty protection matters. If you invest the savings, you could win. But be honest, most people don't invest it. They spend it. For the average person, buying wins. It's not exciting, but it's correct. Jake thought he was saving money. Marcus thought he was building equity. Both were wrong, because they never looked beyond the monthly payment. The real trap is not leasing. It's not buying. It's making a $30,000 decision based only on a monthly number. Next time someone shows you a low payment, ask one question. What does this actually cost me when it's all over? Because that is the only number that matters. In the end, Jake didn't buy a car. He bought a lifestyle of endless payments. Marcus didn't just buy a car. He bought freedom from payments. One decision kept him stuck. The other gave him control. So next time, don't ask, can I afford the monthly? Ask, how long am I willing to pay for this? Because that answer will decide your financial future.